Hey, welcome everybody. My name is Chrissy, and today I'm going to be giving you a channel prediction reading for the 28th of March. Now, I am going to touch on America today because a few people have been asking me for that, so stay watching to the end because I'm going to do that towards the end, but at the moment I'm going to just start off with a general global prediction reading and then we'll move on to that next. Okay, I'll just close my eyes and see what comes up. Okay, I'm getting the visual of a hurricane. So they're calling this kind of Hurricane COVID. So it kind of swept in, picked everything up, and then boom, it dropped everything down. So when you think of that hurricane energy, really nothing is spared in a hurricane. It pretty much wherever it travels along its path, it just is so destructive. It just destroys everything. And this is the image they're giving me around COVID. It has virtually destroyed everything. So it's taken everything up and boom, it's dropped everything down. Now, what they're saying in the visual is when everything is dropped down, it's all chaotic and it gets just put wherever it is at the time. And this causes a lot of disorder. So everything is out of order. This is people's jobs. We've got mandates that have taken people from one job to another job. We've got people jumping out of hospitality and restaurants and small business because that's too hard now to navigate and it doesn't give them stability. So we've got all this kind of chaos energy that is getting things really out of order because the way it's been as a result of the COVID hurricane, so to speak. So, of course, and this is when now they grab that opportunity to introduce, of course, the New World Order. So this is where they have that opportunity now to implement a lot of things moving forward because they will try and get things back, as we know, into an order. Now, these are going to be very easy to implement when you still have your mass psychosis running because, as we know, people comply as soon as they're asked to do something. They will comply. Now, I know that's really hard to understand, but you have to realize the fear and the reality of what these people in this sort of 3D dimension are stuck in. They are stuck in the narrative that government and health people are telling them the truth. Now, anyone watching this video, I know that you know these aren't the truths and that we're being lied to, we're being manipulated, and we're being conned, basically. So this is how they're going to use their, implement their New World Order because they are going to try and put the structures back into place. Now, obviously, we know there's a lot of big corporate organisations who are really doing very well out of the virus, but this is what they're going to start doing. They're going to start trying to implement people into jobs working for these larger companies and corporations because they will use that, I guess you could say it's like a ticket of credit scoring, but it's like a ticket, like giving them a train ticket too, and saying, come through this turnstile and we'll get you working for this company because you're going to have a nice secure job, and they're going to make it very inviting and they're going to make it very enticing for people to come across. And as we know, that's not hard to get people to comply. So this is their sort of target goal now, is to get people working for big corporate, big enterprises, big business, etc. But this is where there's going to be that levelling out now of society, and I really believe, and I've said it before, that lower income and middle class are being squashed now, and this is the aftermath of the hurricane. They're squashed over here. So that's something to be ready for, as well as this growth of society where they're restructuring. I wouldn't say so much as a rebirth because it really isn't. It's just, it's making demands on the people. So they're forcing, coercing, and again, using the credit scoring of getting things back. If you go and work for this company, you're going to get these benefits. And they're going to make it enticing. It's going to invite a lot of people over. So that's something to be aware of too in this aftermath of the pandemic. that a lot of people will still be in that mass psychosis because they know the reward system works for these people. People will do anything to get their freedoms back. They'll do anything. Gosh, people were doing things here, I know, to get free meals at the local club because they were vaccinated and jabbed. Like, this is how crazy this gets. But when you can't afford food and fuel, you'll do these things just to keep feeding your family or whatever. So this is what's going to start happening now. These big rollouts of the companies, the enterprises, come and work for us. Oh, gosh, if we look at the lockdowns, who made all the money, of course? Amazon, all the big online companies, none of the small business and little shops, they were all closed down, weren't they? So we pretty much know where this is headed. Now, I'll just see what else comes up today. Now, I'm feeling that there's a lot of backtracking. There's a lot of backtracking. And this is in government. They're backtracking like to their stimulus packages for some reason. I don't know if they're thinking of implementing that again, because that could be a way of re-hurting people. I definitely feel there's something around the stimulus packages. If we can just get people feeling better, then we can get more control. So this is why I'm thinking that maybe they're thinking about these stimulus packages for people. But really, as we know, that's just the bait on the end of the fishing hook. It's like a wiggly worm. Come and eat the worm. And that's what I'm getting. These stimulus packages are going to just be a con for people. Again, do what we say and we'll take you where you need to go. Just jump on this hook. And that's definitely something that I'm seeing is they're using like these kind of techniques again to sort of reel people in. So be aware of that. Keep your eyes open when government's giving things out. There's usually an ulterior motive, and it could also be to win votes, I'm sure, in a lot of our countries as well. But there's no light at the end of that sort of fishing rod. So be aware of that if they're giving out stimulus packages and doing that reward thing. Just really take note of it and be aware of what's happening around you, because heaps of people fall for those things. It's very easy to get trapped in the mass psychosis, which we want to stay detached from. I don't know the reason why some of us don't get drawn into that. It's very interesting. I was talking to my husband about that the other night, and I said, like, what is it that keeps us protected from that mass psychosis? And maybe it's spirit, maybe it's the guidance that we get drawn and pulled away from those things. I'm not quite sure, but I find it really fascinating how the psychosis works. It's really had a hold on a lot of people, and I think we all know there's definitely been some sort of hypnotic trance that a lot of these people have been put in. Obviously, repetition, they say on the media and this kind of stuff goes into people's psyche and maybe their subconscious mind, and then because you'll hear people will just spit out something that's straight off the narrative and you kind of go, what? And they go, well, it backs up the hospitals and you guys are clogging up the ambulance bays and like, we know none of that is true, but because they've been told it, it's just so embedded in their psyche, like their subconscious mind. So maybe that's how the mass hypnosis works. I don't know. I find it really fascinating. If anyone out there's got any ideas, leave me some comments because I'd love to hear more about it. I find it really fascinating. I'll just see what else comes up today. Now, I'm definitely getting that the stakeholders in all of this are doing very, very well. So I think we know who the stakeholders are by now. We've got pretty much, is it Vanguard, BlackRock, clearly Bill Gates, Fauci. There's all these people above who, definitely Klaus, who are the stakeholders. Now, they're all doing well along the system. But yes, I know this is about money, but this has never really been about money. It's been about power. And I think that's the sort of heading for today's reading is this has always been about power and getting control of people. And it's been like a giant experimental game that they have been able to figure out what works, what doesn't work, how can we get control of these people, why aren't these people conforming. So this has been a lot of experimentation, and I don't mean just around the jab. We know that's a bit of an experiment, but this is about how to control people, how to best control people. So this is also something that they've probably been experimenting with, is how do we get control, what works, what doesn't work, and this is how they gain their power. Because if they know what works and what to implement going forward, that's going to get them the majority, which is what they want, and how they keep building their power. And this comes from within them. This is an egotistical thing. Yeah, they love the wealth and the perks, I'm sure, that go with that. But this is never about that. This is about getting control of the masses and bringing in those dictatorships, those societies where we lose our freedoms and they control everything. And it's, to them, it's just like a board game. You know, I've said that before. It's like a board game. Well, let's move Australia 3 steps forward, and let's take China back, or New Zealand's doing well, let's reward them and take them around the board a little bit more, and then they can implement a little bit more. So this is like, it's almost like a game of the world. So you've got this world board game, and each country is being rewarded as they move around the board. So if you're doing the right things in your country, and this is what I was talking the other day, where they've implemented the cabinets with these global leaders and elite reset people, I think they're elite, they've got them being rewarded as well. So this isn't just about the people getting rewarded, this is also about the leaders getting rewarded. So we're looking at this giant board game that is being controlled by these really powerful elites up here, and we're not even, I would say we're not even on the board game. We're under the little leaders who are actually part of the board game. Now, I think we can pretty much say there's been specific countries that have been targeted. Australia's definitely one, don't even doubt it. Canada, we know you're definitely one. And look, I think New Zealand, there's definitely a lot of others that are on the board game as well. But it's almost like we're the experimental countries that are being pushed forward, and then they see what happens, and then they start working on other countries as well. I know Germany, Sweden, Netherlands. Gosh, you've all gone through such challenges out there. Even America, gosh, it's a very confusing time for you guys over there, I know. But this is what I'm getting. This is a board game of the world. And we're not even on the board. Us little people and middle class, lower class people are not even on the board. We're not even being taken care of. We're not even part of the decision-making process. So I don't know how that's going to work moving forward, because we need to somehow get on this board game and take charge of the dice and start rolling it in our favour. Now, I'll just see what comes through from the guides, because this seems like an impossible board game to actually even get onto, let alone to win it. Let's just see. All right, so I'm getting that this really, a lot of this comes down to the voting. So you have to get your voting right. So do your research. I know here there's a few videos in Australia by, I think it's Topper Fields. He shows you how to vote. There's also another one, GTV, and GTV2, and they teach you how to vote here in Australia, because you want to get the independent people in. So that you have a voice in cabinet or in the parliament. That's something very important. So they're saying to me, really, really focus and do your research on the vote, because that's how you get onto the game, by getting the right people in to the actual board game of the world. You've got to get the right people in who are, you need, and what they're saying is you need like people who are awake. Like the person that comes to mind for me is that Ron DeSantis, is it, in Florida? He's you know, he's strong in his views, but at least he's got the people's visions and livelihoods in his mind going forward. He's not completely self-absorbed. This is the kind of thing you've got to focus on if you want to make changes. Really focus on your voting. I'll see if anything else comes through. Now it's saying Switch, so I'm getting, I don't know the game Switch, but I am getting the name Switch, so it's kind of saying you've got to swap things. They're showing me the game of Snap where you have cards and you match the card and then you snap. Well, they're saying that at the moment, no cards are matching in this. And this is like a card game, Snap, if you've ever heard of it. None of these cards are matching. It's like, if you turn that over, they're different cards. So nobody's able to snap and make a set. So this is that disconnect in all our lives. And this is where nothing's kind of matching up. So the outcome of all this is that you have to start to match things up. So to me, when you think of matching up, you think of having little wins. So if you play the card game Snap, where you match something and then you snap it and then that goes into your pile, this is about having little wins along the way. So as you're playing, someone might have 3 snaps in a row and match 2 cards together, and they have a pile of 3, and the other person playing with them might have none. So this is what they're saying. This is about building all your little wins, and that's how you eventually start to, I guess, win the game, but have some wins. We probably know we're not going to win everything, but by having a few little wins along the way, it can lead you to that bigger win sometimes. So I think that's really the message today is just when you have a little win, just get excited about it and know that's a win. That's another win going forward. Like I said, in that game of Snap, match the cards, take it as a win. Match the cards, take it as a win. That's definitely the message today, is to do that, to take every little thing, and that could be whether it be the Pfizer data coming out, whether it be Dr. Robert Malone, the doctors talking out. There's a senator over there, I think it's in America, America, who's talking out now and helping vaccine injured victims. These are all little wins. You might have a win. I've got a girl that reached out to me who had a vaccine injury. She wants to meet with me for coffee. That's a win. That to me is a win, because that's someone waking up and they're going, what's happening here? And she's still got a tight chest. So these are what I'm saying. We're playing our little game over here of Snap cards, and we're matching things up. So every time you have a little win, take it as a positive and run with it. I mean, we know we're not going to just go, bam, all this is out in the open and they're all being honest. That's not going to happen. We have to take every little win as a positive in helping us to move forward and maybe chipping away and getting those freedoms back. So don't overwhelm yourself. Just stay trying to get those little wins all the time. That's really crucial moving forward. Now, I'm going to just touch on America now, and we'll see what comes up for America. I really feel like America's living a lot in the past. For some reason, they keep going back to history, like history. Oh, look what we've done. Look what we've achieved. But to me, again, this is taking the spotlight off now and putting it back then at the achievements. So I think, I think pretty much in America, they know that they're failing. They know they're losing this battle, and they're it says they're feeling like dorks, like they're feeling stupid. So what they're doing, they're trying to re-strengthen their parliament and their global leadership. And I think a lot of us could probably say we don't actually look to America as like the leaders. I think once upon a time maybe we did. At the moment, everybody's looking at Canada. I know that's a fact. But America has really lost its sort of image and leadership, and maybe Biden has created that because of that lack of confidence. The rest of the world just doesn't sort of view it that way anymore, so they're trying to rebuild and establish their old foundations again, because they feel like by doing that they can ignite that old memory and that spark in people. And again, I'm kind of seeing the eagle standing there like, oh, this is America, this is who we are. And so they're trying to use the past to create the current energy, but also to create the future. So I don't know if that makes sense to you over there. Maybe message me below and let me know what's happening at the moment over there. But that's what I'm getting for America. Society's definitely lost in America. They're not getting obviously we know they're not getting good direction. It's a bit of a farce, actually, that there's a lot of confusion. There's too many cooks. People aren't trusting in their governments. They definitely aren't trusting in the governments and the things that are coming out. It feels like there's no loyalty to the people. And and that's the image they're showing me over there, is they're not herded. People aren't herded together. People all like disassembled. So it's like when you've had people all together and then they just go, okay, and then they all just disassemble and just go all different directions. And this is what I'm getting from America. It's a very disorganized, I get the word, it's the word, disorganized, unsettled. There's a lot of movement, but it's more like scurrying ants going in all different directions. If you think of a really hot day and ants on an ant mound, this is like America. They're just all over the place. There's no order. There's no plan. No one's making any kind of sacrifices to sort all this. And it's very... it's just that energy of being totally dispersed. So it's like everyone is dispersed in America. Oh gosh, and I hate to say it again, but this is when they always look at the getting things into the New World Order, or getting things into order. You better watch out over there, because I think that's what they're going to start to do, because they can see that they've really lost that confidence and that faith in the American people. I really feel like that's really died down heavily now. And you've got a lot of movements going on over there. There's a lot of standing up. There's a lot of protests. You've got the truckers protest as well, which is a positive thing, because they're keeping it in the narrative, which is what you want. That's why it's so crucial that you share information, pass things around and get things out to people. There is a lot of waking up, but I think in America you've still got a long way to go. So that's why you've got to really keep the messages flowing and keep sharing things around, like I said, on the platforms. I do feel in America there's a lot of like hate speech at the moment, but it's like illogical hate speech. It's not even around the unjabbed or anything like that. I don't even think it's around Black lives or anything. This is hate speech is like, to me, more about government. So it feels an uncomfortable energy in America around government. Look, no surprises there, I guess, because we all know how that government's going over there. So that's what I'm getting from America. There's a lot of this hate speech. And look, that's not a good thing, because it's kind of just putting more energy on it. So you don't want to be doing that. So when people are doing that, it kind of draws more attention to it. So that's not what we kind of... anyone watching this video, that's not what we're about. We're not about like putting all that energy onto something like the American government and Biden. This is about focusing on having the things that we do want to achieve. So the hate speech is all, I guess you could say, it's a bit of a drama and charade, really. And look, people just get so angry they don't know where to vent it, so they just sort of vent it on government and things like that sometimes. But I'm definitely getting there's a lot of hate speech in America. So stay removed from that. Don't even watch it. Just move your energy right away from that, because that'll just make you hostile as well. So that's what I'm getting from America. I'll see if there's any last messages today. Yeah, I'm getting visions still of like a stream flowing. So if you think a lovely stream with a huge mass and body of water flowing, what they're showing me is the stream is made of like crepe paper. So it's light, there's nothing underneath, there's no depth to this stream that we're flowing in at the moment. And it's like crepe paper that you find on cheerleaders' pom-poms. It's like all waving in like it's water, but it's an illusion. There's no depth under the water. It's empty, hollow space. So this to me is about the current issues and where we stand with them. There's no depth to what we've been going through. This is all surface stuff. So this is around definitely the COVID journey. This is all surface stuff. It's not deep, as in the experiences that we're having as people. This is all shallow, but it's all leading us to somewhere else, because we think it's this, and a lot of people, like I said, are in that illusion that this is this big flowing stream and we're all going to get caught up in it. But it's saying that no, it's not. It's just like paper and it can't even hurt you or damage you. It's just all an illusion. So I think that's what I'm going to leave you with today, is that as we're flying along, this is all a big illusion, and we have to keep our eyes open and be really aware of the illusion that we're being fed as we're flowing kind of down the stream. Just be aware of that illusion. It's not this huge, big depth of water and big problem that we're going to get drowned in and all that. This is a very, very, how would you say it? A very, well, it says lightweight, but it's a lightweight illusion that we can break through. So look, I'm going to leave you with that today. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye from Australia.